Hey there, welcome to English for Everyone. My name's Lisa. Today we're going to learn how to use this word correctly. Let's get started. This is not correct.
If you want more materials that you can use while watching my classes, I have a huge workbook. It's over 180 pages, so I highly recommend you to go ahead and purchase this book. It's less than $8 and it will really enhance your learning experience.
It's not correct to say, I highly recommend you to purchase it. And it's also not correct to say this.
This is a really fun TV show and I highly recommend you guys to check it out.
It's not correct to say, I highly recommend you to check it out. Let's learn how to use recommend correctly.
So, what's the best way to use recommend? Well, the best way is to use a gerund. That's an action or a verb with ing at the end. Example, I recommend practicing English every day. There's no other person. I cannot say, I recommend you practicing. It's just one person, me. I recommend this activity. I use gerund to express the activity. I recommend practicing English every day. So, example, I recommend practicing English every day. I can change the action recommend if it's he or she. He recommends. He recommends practicing English every day. Or she. She recommends exercising every day. You can also change recommend to the past. Recommended. He recommended exercising every day. And remember, you cannot say he recommended me exercising. There's no other person. It's just the activity you're talking about. He recommended exercising every day. Let's practice. Do you recommend practicing English every day?
Yes, I recommend practicing English every day.
Does she recommend practicing English every day? That's right. She recommends practicing English every day. Very good. Now let's practice with recommend if you have another person. For example, my doctor recommended me. We cannot say me. The only time you can say me is if somebody recommended me for the job. If I am the object or I am the thing that is recommended. He recommended me for the job. But in the example my doctor recommended, I cannot say me. I say I. My doctor recommended I exercise. So we have the person I, we have the action in a simple form, exercise. My doctor recommended I exercise. Why do we say I? Because there's a connector, that. It's an optional connector. You don't have to use it, but you can use it. It makes it easier. My doctor recommended that I exercise more. So remember, you can use the connector that for two ideas. You have the first person I and a simple action. My doctor recommended that I exercise more. Or you can eliminate that. It's optional. My doctor recommended I exercise more is correct. What if the other person is a he or a she? For example, my brother. His doctor recommended that he. I cannot say his doctor recommended him to exercise. I cannot use to in any situation. We use just a simple action. Talking about my brother, his doctor recommended that he exercise. That's right, it's a simple action. I don't change it like he exercises. He exercises is a routine. He exercises sometimes every day. I am not expressing a routine. I'm expressing an action that may or may not happen. So I don't change the action at all. It's always in a simple form. Exercise. So talking about my brother, his doctor recommended that he exercise every day. Exercise in a simple form. What about past? You say recommended. Why not exercised? No, we do not change it to past. It's always in a simple form in this structure. So whether it's present, his doctor recommends, or if it's past, his doctor recommended. The action is always in a simple form with no change. Don't change it to past and don't change it with S for he and she. So again, the example, his doctor recommended that he exercise every day. It is not correct, my doctor recommended that I have to exercise. It is not correct, my doctor recommended that I need to exercise. It is not correct, my doctor recommended that I should exercise. Only, my doctor recommended that I exercise every day. Only the simple action is necessary. And remember, the connector that is optional. My doctor recommended I exercise, or my doctor recommended that I exercise every day. What if you have a negative idea? For example, my doctor recommended that I not eat sweets. That's right, we use the negative not only. Not don't, only not. So it is not correct, my doctor recommended that I don't eat. You have to say, my doctor recommended that I not eat sweets. Now this is a difficult structure and it sounds very strange. So if you don't want to use it, you can say it a different way. You can just use a positive action, avoid. My doctor recommended that I avoid sweets. Easier. And one more thing about this structure. What if the verb is to be? For example, the teacher recommended that we are quiet. I cannot use are. I'm going to use a different form. Be. That's right, just be. And not to be, just the verb be alone. So example, our teacher recommended that we be quiet. That's right. She recommended that we be very quiet. Example, the teacher recommended that we be on time. Not we are on time, we use only the verb be. The teacher recommended that we be on time. And if you want to talk about the negative, she recommended that we not be late. Again, she recommended that we not be late. Let's practice. What does your husband recommend?
He recommends I eat healthier.
What does her husband recommend? That's right. He recommends that she eat healthier. Very good. Let's practice. What did your friend recommend?
She recommended that we try that restaurant.
What did her friend recommend? That's right. She recommended that we try that restaurant. Very good. Let's practice. Do they recommend that we arrive early?
Yes, they recommend that we arrive early.
Do they recommend that we arrive early? Very good. That's right. They recommend that we arrive early. An example, if I say they recommend you, you can use you to talk about any person. For example, they recommend that you exercise daily. Let's practice. What did your trainer recommend?
He recommended that I not eat sweets.
What did her trainer recommend? That's right. Her trainer recommended that she not eat sweets. Very good. Let's practice. Did your trainer recommend that you avoid eating sweets?
Yeah, he recommended that I avoid eating sweets.
Did her trainer recommend that she avoid eating sweets? Very good, that's right. Her trainer recommended that she avoid eating sweets. Let's practice. Does their teacher recommend that they be on time?
Yes, their teacher recommends that they be on time.
Does their teacher recommend that they be on time? That's right. Their teacher recommends that they be on time. Let's practice. Does their teacher recommend that they not be late on the first day?
Yes, she recommends that they not be late on their first day.
Does their teacher recommend that they not be late on the first day? That's right. The teacher recommends that they not be late on the first day. Very good. So let's review all the rules when using recommend. The first is use a gerund. It's easier. And you can use it when the person is not important. It's just the activity that's important. For example, he recommends exercising every day. But if the person is important, then remember, don't use me, don't use him. You start a new idea and you use I, he or she, they, and we. So, he recommends that we exercise, or he recommends that I exercise. And remember, the connector that is optional. You don't have to use it. but I recommend using it because it's going to make it easier to use this structure correctly. So, my doctor recommended that I exercise every day. What if you talk about a he or a she? His doctor recommends that he exercise. Remember, don't change the action for he and she. And don't change the action for past. It's always in a simple present form. Example, he recommended that I exercise. Recommended is in the past, but exercise is always in the present. And if it's negative, use not. He recommended that I not eat sweets. And if your action is to be, use be only. She recommended that we be on time. Or if it's negative, she recommended that we not be late. And also remember, don't use need to, have to, or should. Just use the action. You cannot say, he recommended that I have to be on time. No have to, no should, and no need to.
It's not correct to say, I highly recommend you to purchase it. We have to say, I highly recommend you purchase it. Or, I highly recommend that you purchase it. It's not correct to say, I highly recommend you to check it out. We have to say, I highly recommend you check it out. Or, I highly recommend that you check it out. Thank you for watching, and if you want to learn English and practice speaking English, subscribe to our channel. Bye!